but not so much. Kind of on and off. One that your eyes are so present and so intense that I didn't just even.
Karen Black was one of the most unforgettable faces of the new Hollywood era, a star of Easy Rider, 5 Easy Pieces, and a cult icon in horror films. Bold, eccentric, and impossible to ignore, she brought raw intensity to every role she played. But behind the camera, her life as a mother was far more complicated. She gave birth to a daughter at just 19 years old and placed her for adoption, a secret that would remain hidden for decades. Years later, she had a son who briefly became a child star and then moved behind the camera. So, what happened to Karen Black's kids? This is the untold story of Diane and Hunter, 2 very different lives, forever connected by the legacy of their remarkable mother. Karen Black was born on July 1, 1939, in Park Ridge, Illinois. Her mother was a writer and her father was an engineer, but Karen's heart was never in the sciences or the ordinary path her family might have imagined. From a young age, she was drawn to stories, performance, and the power of expressing emotions. After studying drama at Northwestern University, she packed her bags and moved to New York City to pursue acting. She once said, "I had no choice but to act. It wasn't about fame, it was about survival. My soul couldn't live without it." That fierce determination would define her entire career. Her breakout came in 1969 with Easy Rider, the counterculture classic that redefined American cinema. A year later, she starred opposite Jack Nicholson in 5 Easy Pieces, a role that made her a household name. Critics raved about her raw authenticity, with one calling her performance achingly vulnerable, yet unflinchingly tough. Karen herself reflected later, "I wasn't interested in pretty women with perfect lives. I wanted to play women with cracks, with danger, with heart." The 1970s cemented her as one of the era's most daring actresses. She appeared in The Great Gatsby, portraying Myrtle Wilson with fiery realism. In Robert Altman's Nashville, she sang and acted with the same intensity that made her unforgettable. And then came Trilogy of Terror, the horror TV movie that terrified audiences. Decades later, fans would still tell her how much that performance haunted them. Karen admitted with a grin, "I loved scaring people. It meant I had reached them, and reaching people is what acting is all about." We've hit 10,000 subscribers, and it's all thanks to you. But this is just the beginning. If you want more deep dives, insights, and discoveries, hit that subscribe button. Let's reach those 15,000 subscribers together. Your support means a lot. But Karen's life wasn't just about her art. It was about her choices, which were often bold and unapologetic. She was married 4 times, each relationship reflecting a chapter in her unpredictable journey. Asked once why she lived so unconventionally, she replied, "I've never been afraid to follow my heart, even when it led me into trouble. Trouble is part of living fully." As a mother, her story was complicated. At just 19, she had a baby girl she placed for adoption, a decision that haunted her but also shaped her understanding of love and sacrifice. Years later, she would have a son, Hunter, who grew up in the film world she had conquered. Through it all, Karen Black refused to conform. She once said, "I didn't want to be a movie star. I wanted to be an actress. A star shines on the surface, but an actress shines from the inside." That refusal to play by Hollywood's rules, to embrace the odd, the broken, and the unconventional, made her unforgettable, and it would ripple through the lives of her children in very different ways. In 1959, before fame, before Hollywood knew her name, Karen Black was a 19-year-old college student. She was in love, impulsive, and like many young women of the time, caught between her desires and the strict social expectations of the 1950s. That year, she became pregnant. The man was someone she had been romantically involved with while she was still studying, but marriage was not part of the picture. In a decade when single motherhood carried deep stigma, Karen faced an impossible choice. She gave birth to a baby girl, Diane. With little money, no husband, and dreams of becoming an actress, she made the heartbreaking decision to place her daughter for adoption. She later admitted privately, "I was just a girl myself. I loved her, but I didn't know how to give her the life she deserved." For years, Karen carried the weight of that decision in silence. Diane grew up in another family, unaware that her biological mother would become one of the most daring actresses of her generation. To the world, Karen was dazzling, eccentric, fearless. But in her private thoughts, there was always a shadow of the child she had let go. Decades later, adoption records revealed the truth. Diane discovered that the woman who had given her life was not just a mother, but a star. Their reunion came late when Karen was already battling cancer, but it was deeply significant. Diane later shared, "When I met her, it wasn't about her being famous. It was about a connection, a mother and a daughter who had been missing from each other for too long." For Karen, meeting Diane again gave her a sense of peace. She told her daughter simply, "I never stopped thinking about you." For Diane, the experience was both healing and bittersweet. She would go on to write about it in her memoir, Finding Karen Black, reflecting on how it felt to finally reclaim a missing piece of her identity. Their story is one of loss and rediscovery, proof that even in the midst of fame, family remains the most profound role of all. In her memoir, Finding Karen Black, Roots Become Wings, Diane reveals that she was the daughter Karen Black gave up for adoption in 1959. At the time, Karen was just 19, a young woman from Park Ridge, Illinois, still searching for her place in the world. With no resources and her acting dreams just beginning to take shape, she made the heartbreaking decision to place her baby girl for adoption. Diane grew up in a loving adoptive family far from Hollywood. Her childhood was safe and steady, but she always felt something missing. As she later wrote, "I always sensed there was a part of my story I didn't know. I didn't realize that missing piece was her." When adoption records finally opened, Diane made a discovery that changed her life. Her biological mother was Karen Black, the daring actress known for Easy Rider, 5 Easy Pieces, and Trilogy of Terror. Diane recalled, "At first I couldn't believe it. I had to sit with the truth that the woman the world admired was also the woman who gave me life." The two were reunited late in Karen's life, while she was battling illness. But even in those short years, the bond was undeniable. Diane remembered, "She didn't try to rewrite the past. She just wanted me to know she loved me. And that was enough." Karen, in turn, told her daughter, "I never stopped thinking about you." Today, Diane Bay lives in Western Kentucky, where she has built a quiet but creative life. She is an artist and writer, active in local art circles like the Paducah Area Painters Alliance. She paints in oils, writes, and shares her story through her book. Diane and her husband, Rich, raised 3 sons, and she is now a grandmother to 4 grandchildren. Her journey from being a hidden chapter in a Hollywood star's life to embracing her identity as Karen Black's daughter is one of resilience, healing, and self-discovery. As Diane puts it, "Finding my mother meant finding myself." Hunter Carson was born on December 26, 1975, in Culver City, California, to actress Karen Black and writer, actor, and producer L.M. Kit Carson. From the very beginning, creativity ran through his veins. His father, Kit Carson, was a versatile Texan who refused to be boxed in. Born in Dallas to Louise and Minor Lee Carson, Kit began as the lead in the groundbreaking 1967 film David Holzman's Diary. He soon turned to writing, penning scripts like Breathless and The Last Word. His greatest triumph came with his beautiful adaptation of Sam Shepard's Paris, Texas, a film that showed his depth as a storyteller. Kit's career was restless and daring. He wrote The Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, acted in Running on Empty, co-produced Wes Anderson's debut Bottle Rocket, and championed countless independent projects. His influence touched not only the film industry, but his own family. Hunter, growing up between his mother's fierce artistry and his father's fearless experimentation, seemed destined for cinema. At just 9 years old, he starred in Wim Wenders' Paris, Texas, the very film his father helped bring to life. His performance as Hunter Henderson was hauntingly real, and in 1986, he was nominated for the Young Artist Award for Best Starring Performance by a Young Actor. 2 years later, he shared the screen with his mother in Invaders from Mars. For Karen Black, it was a rare joy. She later said, "Hunter was a natural. He didn't act, he just existed, and that was the most powerful thing an actor can do." Hunter's career unfolded with roles in Mr. North, Scaramouche, and eventually his own short film with it in 2004. That project brought him recognition as both actor and filmmaker. It won a special mention for Best Short at the Mannheim-Heidelberg International Film Festival in 2004 and was nominated for the Jury Award for Best Narrative Short at the Tribeca Film Festival in 2005. By that point, Hunter had proven he could carry both sides of filmmaking, in front of and behind the camera. But Hollywood can be unpredictable. In 1987, Hunter was originally cast as Bud Bundy in Married with Children, with Tina Caspary as Kelly. At the last moment, producers felt the two didn't fit the roles, and they were replaced by David Faustino and Christina Applegate. It was one of those early lessons about the instability of show business. As he matured, Hunter leaned more into producing and writing, much like his father. He once said, "I grew up around fame, so I knew it wasn't the point. What mattered was telling stories that felt honest." That philosophy became his guiding star. In his personal life, Hunter found the stability his parents often lacked. On May 16, 2011, he married Elise Tyler. Together, they are raising 3 children, Jane, Anna, and Francis Carson. Today, Hunter is 49 years old, a father and husband who balances creativity with family. He also shares connections with siblings, Diane, the half-sister Karen gave up for adoption and later reunited with, and Celine Eckelberry, his stepsister, through filmmaker Stephen Eckelberry. Hunter Carson's life is a story of legacy and individuality. With 3 nominations, 1 award, and a lifetime in film, he has carried the spark of both Karen Black and Kit Carson forward. His path shows that artistry in his family wasn't just a profession, it was an inheritance. In her later years, Karen Black's life was marked by both resilience and reconnection. Even as Hollywood offered her fewer roles, she refused to step away from her craft. She kept acting in independent films and on stage, insisting, "I can't imagine not acting. It's how I breathe, how I live." But behind the curtain, Karen was fighting a long battle with cancer. For more than a decade, she endured treatments with the same stubborn courage that had defined her career. Her husband, filmmaker Stephen Eckelberry, cared for her and shared their journey with friends and fans. This was also the time when family became her greatest source of strength. Diane, the daughter she had given up for adoption in 1959, had found her way back into Karen's life. Their reunion was late, but meaningful. Diane later said, "She didn't try to explain everything away. She just wanted me to know she loved me. That was enough." In another interview, she reflected, "Meeting her gave me a piece of myself back. I understood where I came from, and I understood her pain too." Hunter, her son with LM Kit Carson, was also at her side. By then, he was a father himself, married to Elise Tyler, and raising 3 children. He balanced his creative career with family life, something Karen deeply admired. Hunter once said about his mother, "She was brave. She didn't follow anyone's rules, not in art, not in life. I think that's what I carry with me, that courage to be different." Karen often expressed how proud she was of him. Friends recall her saying, "Hunter is proof that creativity and love can live side by side. He's the best part of me." On August 8, 2013, Karen Black passed away in Los Angeles at the age of 74. Her death was mourned by fans around the world, but for Diane and Hunter, it was personal, the loss of a mother they each knew in very different ways. Diane keeps her memory alive through her book and her artwork. Hunter carries it through his films and his family. Both have said in their own ways that Karen's legacy isn't just in the roles she played, but in the lessons she left them. As Diane put it, "Her love, even in the short time we had, changed me." And as Hunter explained, "When I make a film, I think of her. I think of her fearlessness, and I try to honor that." In the end, Karen Black's story was not only about the films that made her famous, it was about the family she built, lost, and regained, and the children who carry her spirit forward. Karen Black's life was never ordinary, and neither was her legacy. She became one of the defining actresses of the new Hollywood era, known for playing outsiders, dreamers, and women who didn't fit the mold. "I never wanted to play the pretty girl," she once said. "I wanted to play the truth." When she passed away on August 8, 2013, at the age of 74, Hollywood mourned the loss of one of its most fearless performers. She was laid to rest at Hollywood Forever Cemetery in Los Angeles, surrounded by fellow legends of film and music. In the years since, fans and admirers continue to visit her grave, leaving flowers, photos, and notes of thanks for the unforgettable characters she brought to life. Tributes poured in from across the industry. Director Rob Zombie, who cast her in House of a Thousand Corpses, said, "Karen Black was a true one-of-a-kind actress. She was fearless and willing to take risks that most others would never dream of." Fellow actor Elliot Gould remembered her as a woman who made every role deeply human, no matter how strange or difficult the character might have seemed. Critics and fans alike hailed her as an icon who never conformed, always choosing the bold and unusual path. Her children also carry her memory. Diane, the daughter she once gave up but later reunited with, has said, "Finding her gave me back a part of myself. I understood who she was, and in turn, I understood who I was." Hunter, who walked into film with his mother by his side, explained, "She taught me that art isn't about being safe. It's about being alive and being honest, no matter the cost." Today, her legacy is preserved not only in over 100 film and television appearances, but also in the memories of those who worked with her, the fans who still watch her cult classics, and the children and grandchildren who carry her spirit forward. Karen Black's story reminds us that a legacy is more than fame or awards. It's the imprint we leave on others, in art, in love, and in family. And for Karen, that legacy lives on at once in Hollywood history and in the private personal lives of Diane and Hunter. So, whatever happened to Karen Black's kids? The answer is a story of two very different lives, shaped by the same extraordinary woman. Diane, the daughter Karen gave up at 19, built a creative and grounded life of her own. As a writer, an artist, a wife, a mother, and a grandmother. Her memoir, Finding Karen Black, captures the journey of loss, reunion, and the discovery of identity. Hunter, the son she raised with L.M. Kit Carson, stepped into Hollywood as a child actor and went on to explore the art of filmmaking, carving out his own space as a writer, director, and producer. Today, he is a husband and father of 3, balancing family with creativity, just as his mother once dreamed of doing. Both children, in very different ways, carry Karen's legacy. Diane through reflection and healing, Hunter through storytelling and film. Together, they remind us that Karen Black's story is not just about the role she played on screen, but about the family she shaped, lost, and rediscovered. Karen Black rests at Hollywood Forever Cemetery, remembered as a cult icon, a fearless actress, and a woman who defied expectations. Her children and grandchildren are living proof that her spirit endures, not only in cinema, but in love, family, and the courage to live authentically. This was the story of Karen Black and her children, a tale of art, sacrifice, reconciliation, and legacy. What do you think? Did you know about Diane's reunion or Hunter's journey behind the camera? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more stories of the families behind Hollywood's most unforgettable stars.